evening, Ghana. It's ASAGYEM News at 7, transmitting live from our studios right here in the Blue Region. I am
Whenever
ORATOR
I
Rich.
come
Coming
to
up
the
tonight,
Blue Region,
Accra
CI to be
Metropolitan
precise,
Assembly
I
confirms
always
trading
listen
will
to
be
the
banned
best
on
radio.
Kaneshi footbridge after rehabilitation. Also, government consider exploring local raw materials to stabilize production costs of sachet water. Now, onion supply to Ghana threatened as trucks held up in transit dispute. Also, coming up tonight, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye announces the arrival of 100 new buses to ease transport difficulties across the country. Now, bringing you details of all this and fascinating others within the next 30 minutes. Please stay. Thank you so much for staying. Remember, this broadcast is live on all our socials via Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at ASAGYEM TV. Do all to follow us, bring in your suggestions and comments on any of our top stories as we promise to share with the rest of the world. Now, the first story, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly has confirmed that trading will not be permitted on Kaneshi footbridge once the planned rehabilitation works are completed. The head of public affairs at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Gilbert Ni Ankara, reiterated the Assembly's plan to permanently remove traders from the bridge. He highlighted that authorities have made alternative arrangements for the traders affected by the ban. The mayor has personally engaged with the traders and supported their relocation. Mr. Ankara added that the metropolis will maintain a robust presence to ensure the no trading regulation is enforced. Also, the government says it is considering sourcing raw materials locally as part of efforts to stabilize sachet water prices and protect consumers from rising production costs. The Chief Commercial Officer and Director of Industrial Development at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Kofi Addo, made this known during an interview on Monday, April 6. He explained that the government moved quickly to engage manufacturers and producers after receiving indications of an impending prices increase in the sector. He said that the immediate priority is to stabilize the market and protect consumers while ensuring that all stakeholders among the value chain are involved in finding a solution. He disclosed that a key meeting scheduled for Wednesday will bring together manufacturers and producers to address the challenges driving the price increase, particularly rising costs of production. Also, the flow of onions into Ghana is under threat after several trucks transporting the commodity from Niger through Nigeria were reportedly impounded, raising fears of shortages in local markets. According to Mustafa Suleiman Talimo, the situation stems from a disagreement among traders that has escalated beyond its initial scope. He explained that a misunderstanding between some onion dealers and their Nigerian counterparts triggered the disruption. He added that what began as a minor dispute has now grown into a broader conflict involving multiple trader groups, including those from Ghana, Kusase, Hausa, and Cote d'Ivoire backgrounds. An Accra-based trader, Haji Fuseni Atiga, explained that the dispute is also linked to disagreements over how onion shipments and distributed among traders association. Now, the Minister for Government Communications, Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, has announced the arrival of 100 new buses aimed at reducing ongoing road transport difficulties across the country. In a Facebook post on Sunday, March 5, the minister addressed the situation and outlined steps being taken to improve public transport. He said that the government has begun receiving buses as part of a broader plan to expand capacity and ease pressure on commuters. In the meantime, 129 seat buses have arrived in the country to ease recent road transport challenges, he stated. According to him, the newly delivered buses are part of a larger procurement of 300 vehicles intended to strengthen the public transport system and improve mobility nationwide. He further explained that the timeline for the remaining deliveries, adding that another batch of 100 new buses will arrive in August, with the last batch of 100 arriving in November. The arrival in August with the late is based and expected to gradually improve transport conditions, particularly during peak hours when commuters often face overcrowding and delays. Now I've got you covered in the world of sports and international news as well right after this breather. Please do stay with me. Audio.
Multimedia is the brand. You can watch and listen live on our substations, AU TV and AU Radio, ASAGYEM TV and ASAGYEM Radio, UKASI TV and Radio, and also on our various websites, www.TeamLinkAfrica, that's TV and radio directory, or online multi-TV, aubusinessnews.com, autvonline.com, aunewsroom.net, and AU Media, where media professionals are trained. AU Media, always there for you.
Thank you so much for staying. Remember, you're still watching the ASAGYEM News at 7, transmitted live from our studios right here in the Benin region. Now, in international news, Burkina Faso military leader Traoré says, forget democracy. He disclosed this, saying that just 3 months after his government dissolved all political parties in the West African nation. Speaking to journalists in a lengthy interview on state television on Thursday, Traoré referenced Libya as an example of a country where he said outsiders' attempts to impose democracy but failed. It is the latest sign of Traoré's government distancing itself from the initial promises it made to set the country back to a democratic path. Traoré seized power in September 2022, 8 months after an earlier military coup he was involved in overthrew the democratically elected government of President Roch Marc Kabore. Now in the world of sports, Leeds draw Chelsea and Man City faces Southampton in FA Cup semi-finals for the first time in 39 years. Daniel Fake's side beat Premier League relegation rivals West Ham by 4-2 on penalties to progress after a thrilling 2-2 draw on Sunday. Last year's beating finalist Manchester City will take on Southampton's side on the championship in the other semi-final. The Saints, whose only FA Cup triumph was back in 1976, stand Premier League leaders Arsenal on Saturday to set up the encounter with seven-time winners City. Leeds last reached the FA Cup last fall in 1987, which they were beaten 3-2 by eventual winners Coventry City at Hillsborough, and lifted the trophy for the only time in 1972. Their meeting with 8-time winners Chelsea will also stir up memories of the 1970 showpiece between the sides, in which the Blues triumphed after a replay at Old Trafford, the first FA Cup final at that time to require one side since 1972. Also, remember tonight there is an ongoing match between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. You will enjoy that program as well. And that is how I draw the curtains on tonight's episode of ASAGYEM News at 7. Remember, this news was produced by our originator, edited by Cindy, and anchored by my humble self, Orator Richie. Catch you up some other time, but until then, enjoy the rest of the evening.